Hello, and welcome to the 5 Great Decision Introductory Course. I'm so excited that you have decided to join us over the next 6 weeks as we delve deep into what is 5 Great Decisions all about. I'm coming off of a 4-month journey with a group of 12 people. I call them my cohort, and we have been digging deep into figuring out just what is behind this simple idea of making 5 great decisions each day that are so aligned with your values and my values that my future self is going to thank me. And the same can be true for you. What we have discovered over these 4 months is, like I said, I feel like I've been at an excavation site. That at first it was just these bones, these 5 decisions on top, and then we would dig deeper and we'd find that, wow, this supports so many other positive aspects in our life that I felt like we just kept digging. And right now, it seems to me like I've got a Tyrannosaurus Rex on this table. All these pieces that now I had to figure out how they all go together. And that's what over the next 6 weeks, this is going to be really helpful as I prepare our lessons and have a dialogue with you. I think it's going to really help seeing how pieces go together and will further contribute to the development of 5 great decisions. I thought each week I'll do a little video like this. It gives you a chance to get to know Patrice a little bit more. The emails have a lot of content, and I understand that. I mean, it is a course, but that's where having me just speak some of it, I think it makes it more alive, more personal. Also, then when you send questions to me, you feel like you know me a little bit better. So the videos aren't perfect. I just do the best I can, and I hope that anything that's amateur about them won't distract from what we can learn from them. On today's video, I'm going to be sharing the origin of 5 Great Decisions. Where did it start? And then I'm going to walk us through the 5 Great Decision Beginner Guide, because by tomorrow morning, I would love all of you to be able to say, I've started my 5 Great Decision practice. 5 Great Decisions actually started over 20 years ago. I'll never forget, May 1st, 2005. I was thinking ahead to an event that was coming up about 8 weeks away. And like so many times before, I wanted to lose weight for that event. And also, like so many times before, I calculated out, okay, if I lose this much each week, then I'll achieve my goal. I don't know why I try that over and over again, because most of the time it doesn't work. And I arrive at that day not having achieved the goal and also being disappointed in myself, kind of beating myself up. And knowing that that was the history of this, I said at the end of the day, it's the decisions I make each day that matter. And that evening is when the idea, what if I made 5 great decisions a day? And write them down, and let's just approach it that way. The results were amazing. For the first time in my life, I would say, when it comes to having a goal such as weight management, things that normally would trip me up were actually like a spark, a jolt of, this is an opportunity for a great decision. It was like these things that, for example, whether to have a dessert when you're out to dinner, would you like dessert with that? If I say, no, thank you, that is an opportunity that's perfectly aligned with what my future self wants for me. And it made those kind of decisions almost effortless. It did not require discipline and willpower to achieve the goal of weight loss over that period of time. Now, I'm not suggesting that this is a weight loss program, although it does work very well for that, but it works well across a variety of life domains and goals that we have and visions that we have for our future self. In fact, I like to say, what if the gap between who you are and who you aspire to be could be bridged with just 5 great decisions? I believe that it can. This past April, May, I got thinking about, wow, it's the 20th anniversary of 5 Great Decisions. And I've written a couple other books. And so I thought maybe I should write a little book on it. And I sent a text to my son, Stephen, who's 36, and said, hey, I'm thinking about writing a little book, my signature size on 5 Great Decisions. would you and Danny, his girlfriend, be willing to try out some of my concepts that I'm coming up with? And he wrote back, sure. And then he added, I've been saying you should write this book for years. Have you ever had something like that happen to you, where someone speaks like a truth into you? I call it positive prophecy. Someone sees something in me that maybe I don't even see in myself. And over the years, people have said, Patrice, there's something to 5 Great Decisions. And so what I decided, really motivated by curiosity, is to go down this road a ways. Between the curiosity, wanting to know, is there anything beyond this? Is it just 5 decisions, or is there something more that makes it so effective? And Stephen's encouragement, I collected a group of 12 people from an email list that I have on my retirement website, as well as some young people in their 30s that, part of Stephen's community. And for 4 months, we've been delving into what 5 Great Decisions is. And this is what we have discovered. 5 Great Decisions is a simple idea that runs deep. And that's why I say we dug all this stuff up. Feel like I've got this Tyrannosaurus Rex on the table, and we're putting it all together now into a practice that other people can use and share with others, because I believe it is a value worth sharing. Oh, I believe it is an idea worth sharing. I really do value it too. So that's how it all started, and it's becoming something even so much bigger than I ever imagined. And now here we are on the next leg of this, and that is our 6-week journey into an introductory course. What I want to do is just briefly walk us through the 5 Great Decision guide. I created this when you'll see in the very first story about the woman on the ferry and saying she should buy the scone. That's when I realized just the idea, hearing about a little bit of 5 Great Decisions isn't enough for it to be a transformational experience for you. In her case, if I had said, yeah, it's best if you not buy the scone, that would feel just like another discipline, willpower-powered goal that probably has tried many times, and all it does is make you feel like you just don't like it. And so I said, go buy the scone. She was happy to hear. And then I thought, what if I created a guide so people who are interested in it could learn more and to get started? And that's what this is. Right along that next page then is these 5 Great Decision foundational principles. And what these are actually more like a manifesto, or the 5 Great Decision practitioner's mindset. Sometimes people read these and they think that these are the 5 decisions. No, they're not. It's a place that you will arrive after practicing 5 Great Decisions for a period of time. When you first begin, like any practice, it's pretty mechanical, I think of like yoga. When you first start practicing yoga, you're just concerned about the poses and that you're getting them right. But as you continue to practice that more and more, it becomes part of who you are and part of your lifestyle and how you present yourself in the world. And the same is true with 5 Great Decision, that you will start with just kind of, am I doing this right? Am I making the right decisions? To, wow, I'm finding myself with all these 5 that are working together. They all overlap, and it's really beautiful. So maybe it should be at the end of the guide, because it really is, like I said, just a mindset that you will arrive if you commit to this practice. The next page talks a little bit about just what is 5 Great Decisions and who is it for and how does it work. And the thing is, the simple part is, 5 Great Decisions really is this daily practice of consistently making 5 decisions so aligned with your values that your future self will thank you. Our future self's going to arrive, hopefully, whether we're ready or not. And it can be a cause for celebration, or it can be a cause for big disappointment. And I believe 5 Great Decisions is one way to assure that we are aligning our daily decisions and choices that are in support of what our future self would want. So it is also very flexible in a personal practice. So the way you do it might not look exactly like I do it, and that's perfectly fine. I think that's one of the reasons that it is so effective. But the one thing that really makes a difference here is these decisions. They can be little choices, but it's the momentum over time, consistently making these, that really does shape what our future looks like. And who is it for? There's a little write-up on this. I have found 5 Great Decisions ends up being another tool in people who are really pretty driven and goal-oriented and care, are considering their future self. This is another tool in their toolbox. It often goes along with gratitude journaling, goal setting, health and well-being practices, but it has its own little place in that toolbox that nothing else quite addresses decision making in the way that 5 Great Decisions does. And then how does it work? Why didn't I say don't buy this scone? Because if there wasn't something a little magical about this, that's probably what I would have said. How it works is when we know what we're aiming for, when we have a really clear idea why we're practicing 5 Great Decisions, when a choice presents itself, we experience that I call it like a spark or a jolt. It's that recognition, it's that emotional response to, this is an opportunity for a great decision. This is an opportunity to make a decision that is so aligned with my future self that she's going to thank me for that. That it allows us to make decisions that help us step into that ideal self. And it's that spark, that recognition, that is how it works in my experience with that. And I'm excited to hear how you will end up describing those kind of experiences. What people repeatedly have said to me is suddenly they're making decisions that before they were resistant to make or afraid to make, or they procrastinated, and resistance just held them back. And for some reason, one of these deep reasons that we're still excavating, 5 Great Decisions helps us bypass those kind of things that derail us and self-sabotage us from where we want to go and arrive to. So this is how we're going to get started this week. It's how you get started on any 5 Great Decision practice, and that is to know why you're practicing. Don't get hung up on this needing to be some big formal purpose statement that you have to live with for the rest of your life. If anything, just come up with a practice why for this next week so you can start getting a sense, the hang of 5 Great Decisions. But this page talks about kind of how to identify that why. Some of you probably already know. It's why when you heard about through my webinar or on through my email, you instantly said, oh, this would really help me in this area. And others may not, but that's why I have these questions here that will help you. They may spark something in you like, this is speaking to this area of my life that I really would like to address. It's that emotional response. Listen, watch for that, because that is what is going to help you also recognize the sparks and the jolts as you move through your day and have opportunities to make these great decisions. So with that, once you have spent some time thinking about that and have fun with it, then start drafting your purpose statement or your why statement. And it can be one sentence, it can be a whole paragraph. You can write a whole story if you want. Maybe it's your whole story of your future self telling you really what it wants and thanking you for caring about that. But it's just, again, a personal thing that don't let that stop you from getting started. The one thing I really encourage you to do is keep a record of your 5 Great Decisions. At the end of the day or at any point in the day, write them down. I would love for you to use the 5 Great Decision app because it's fun, it's colorful. It rewards you for even one decision. It's not like you have to get reward, meaning like the color of that date changes from one color to another. And if I showed you a month of mine, you'll see I don't have a perfect 5 for every day. You don't need that. You don't need a streak. You don't have to beat up on yourself for breaking a streak. Every single decision over time continues to add up. And it's so exciting to look back over the last 3 or 4 months and like, wow, I have been making these better decisions consistently, and that's got to be doing something for how I live now and what I can anticipate for the future. So do you have a way of recording these? And then I think most important, I wrote a book on getting started today. not about 5 great decisions, but about life in general, is to start now. Don't wait for the perfect why statement. Even if you say, I'm going to use this practice one for this week and see what happens. Experiment. Come at this out of a sense of curiosity about what might be revealed. The last page of your guide has some frequently asked questions, and actually what I'm doing in our first email this week is going into more detail about some of these questions. And I will, in each email, have between 1 and 3 question and answer section. And if you have questions you'd like me to respond in that section, I will respond individually to you, but also draft up something that might benefit the whole group. So I hope that the questions on here will also be helpful to you in terms of getting started. So that's our first week. The most important thing is to develop a why statement, know why you want to practice this. Even if it's out of curiosity, choose a why, even if it's a practice why. Send me questions as you go through the week. Record your decisions. And next Wednesday, I'll drop back into your inbox with a fresh video and a new lesson for us. And we will begin now. Thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to the next 6 weeks together. Bye-bye now.